This is the video solution to practice problem A that accompanies sample problem 2.8 on page 63 of your text. This question asks us to write the systematic name for three species. The word species is used very carefully here. Notice that the list contains two acids, A and C, and one anion, letter B. We already know that acids contain hydrogen ions, H+ ions, and even though it looks like letter B may be an acid, the fact that it is charged as -1 means that it is an ion. As we go through this sample problem, we'll refer to the FAQ box at the top of page 62 and the Think About It box in the right margin on page 63 in your text. We'll start with HBRO. This compound is an oxyacid, a compound composed of a hydrogen ion and a polyatomic anion. The anion in this compound is BRO with a charge of -1. We'll have to name this compound using the rules for naming oxyacids. Those rules force us to examine the anion and change the name of the anion to the correct suffix when we form the acid name. Our anion is BRO-. While this exact anion doesn't appear in any of our lists, the anion with the closest resemblance to it is BRO3-, the bromate ion that appears in the Think About It box on page 63. Our anion contains two fewer oxygen atoms than bromate. The charge is the same. We could look at forming our anion in a very stepwise process, which is summarized on page 62. If a polyatomic ion ending in ATE loses one oxygen atom, the name of the ion is changed to an ITE suffix while the charge remains the same. In this case, bromate could turn into bromite. In another step, the bromite ion could lose one oxygen and form a new ion which has a hypo prefix included in its name. These two steps would ultimately result in the ion that we need to work with, and the BRO- ion would be called hypobromite. The ITE suffix of the anion must be changed to OUS in our acid name. Therefore, we'll begin the name of this compound with the word hypobromous. We also need to have an indication that this compound is an acid, specifically in the name. For all acids that we discuss in Chem 1251, we will attach the word acid to the name of the compound. Letter A, then, will be named hypobromous acid. Letter B is the polyatomic ion HSO4 with a charge of -1. This ion is very closely related to the sulfate ion, which is SO4 with a charge of -2. If we were to add H+ to sulfate, we would end up with the formula HSO4 and a charge of -1. -2 plus +1 is equal to -1. Since all we have done is add a hydrogen ion, we call this new anion hydrogen sulfate or bisulfate. Either name is appropriate. Finally, we'll name H2C2O4, another acid. This is an oxyacid, so we will need those rules that we used for letter A. The anion in this acid is C2O4 with a charge of -2. This ion appears in the Think About It box on page 63, and it's called oxalate. According to the rules then, our ATE suffix will be changed to IC, and we will add the word acid. So H2C2O4 will be called oxalic acid. With this complete, please take some time to work through practice problem B in this group. You'll find the answers on page 75 of the textbook.